You know, we live in what I think is the most superb area of the state. And of course, I know that we're all children of our own communities and we're all biased. But Pocatello is, in my mind, and has been for some 35 years, the most remarkable area a person could ever live, raise their kids, and enjoy the later years of their life. We are proud partners of Region 5. We are also very good partners of the tribe. The Shoshone-Bannock people have become very, very special in our advertising and in our association and when we do fam trips. I'm very proud to say that AAA magazine this last year rated Idaho as a real bargain. And I use that when I go to shows. We're not cheap, but we're just a good value for the dollar. And I think that's something we need to stand on. Outdoor Life, I don't know how many of you get that magazine, this last year rated Pocatello as number 5 in the nation. Not in this great state of Idaho, but in the nation. We have such spectacular amenities there. You can be in Pocatello and within 4 minutes you can be in a forest with the moose and all the wildlife that you would expect to see in Yellowstone, or you can also go out and be on the desert. So we are actually minutes. We have 33 reservoirs and lakes for people to fly fish on. That is a great asset. So we are something for everybody, whatever they want to do. I'm going to go through my grant, and we're going to go to element 3, because the other two I don't believe really are concerning, not the auditing or because I'm not asking for that much money, and also not the fulfillment, because that'll be dependent on you. Advertising. We do a lot of advertising, and in the last few years we dropped our billboard campaign. But as we watch the motorists coming in, and as we've taken over the Fort Hall replica, we know that we have to bait that hook and give people a reason to come off that interstate. Most of our traffic, and we're very, very fortunate to have Yellowstone in our backyard. I mean, wouldn't everybody love to have Yellowstone and Glacier in their backyard? So we're very fortunate on that. We need to capitalize on those travelers. Doesn't matter how tight money gets, there will always be travelers to Yellowstone. We have captured the market in the European market and also in the domestic market. The tour buses are huge for us. We have thousands of tour buses that come through every year in the summer, and they stay in our hotels. They buy our gas. They buy their amenities. But we have to give them something special. So that's why we've taken over the Fort Hall replica as the auditorium district. Last year we started certified rack distribution down in the Salt Lake area. They distributed over 8,000 brochures. I know by talking to my hoteliers, by talking to my tribe, they are seeing an increase and a return on investment for that. For the brochures, which I'm sure you have all seen, they're very lovely. They can be utilized in many different sources. We have the inserts that can be taken out. Our hotels don't always want to represent their competitors, so they can simply remove the lodging, and that works very well. You know, some of the prime things that we are focusing on is Real America with the European market. I just got back from Rocky Mountain International, and that is a real focus for us because those European tourists don't want to necessarily a Flag Hotel or a Burger King. They want a Western experience. So we're really working on bringing that to the forefront so that we give them, you know, you got to listen to the customer, you got to give them what they want, and that is what they want. But such things as AAA, I mean, that's always going to be out there. We get a lot of website requests, and when we ask, where did you hear about us, they always say AAA or a magazine and the Idaho Travel Guide. I must compliment you on the travel guide. It is absolutely the Bible. And when at our visitor center, I always tell my volunteers, if you don't know something about Lewiston or salmon, go to the Bible. You know, you want to know the 10 Commandments, go to the other Bible. But for you, you go to the travel guide. And it's wonderful. Because we are on the way to Yellowstone, we could not be better situated. We're halfway between Salt Lake City and the park, and it makes us the easy access. And because all of our hotels are just right off the interstate, there's no confusion. I mean, I got lost coming here. So, you know, there's no confusion, though, in Pocatello. You're just right on the interstate. It's just a quick step off and you are there. We are also very much a sports town. We had a grant last year from you that will promote the USA Wrestling, which brings 3,200 kids to our town for a week. That's not just their families and friends, that's them and all our families, friends, and all of our affiliate officials. So it's an exciting event. We are asking for that same sponsorship this year. But, you know, we're going to also start working on Runner's World. I can't tell you how many people I see that are now, we're all getting very excited about being more athletic. The bicycling, the running. I live up on the mountain, and it's almost scary how many bicycles and how many runners now are using the outdoors as a part of their daily experience. We need to capitalize on that. So we're asking to go into Runner's World for the first time. If you go to element 4, that would be convention promotion. My sales director, Mr. Raul Cano, is probably the best man to promote sports that you will ever find. He can go, he can talk to them, he talks their language, and he's wonderful. I am more the international tour bus lady because they all know me by my cowboy hat. Now, I'm not wearing that today. Usually I do, but I'm not. And they know me. They say, "Oh, Pocatello," and they know me by cowboy hat. So you have a team that works very well together, and yet we also have separate interests. Sporting with Holt Arena, Reed Gym, all of that is very prominent in Pocatello. And we're working on maintaining that relationship with the USA Wrestling. That's a huge event. This is unforeseen that they would be 2 years in the same town. They were there last year. They'll be here in 2011. They've never done that before. And we are working to make sure that that will become a yearly event, that we won't lose it. You know, we have struggles with our Dodge Rodeo. There's always, you know, rumors and confusion. We love our rodeo. Keeping that consistency is what we're all about. It's not always about going out and getting new business. It's about maintaining and sustaining what you already have. We have to sustain Simplot Games. It's huge for us. We have to sustain the DNCFR, and now we need to sustain the wrestling tournament. You know, and that we're very reliant on Holt Arena for that. So we're very, very fortunate on that. So Raul goes to teams. He goes to NASC. Those are both sporting events. I typically do the Go West and the RMI because I'm Little Miss Cowgirl. And so I think we complement each other. But we're wanting to do more advertising in the sporting world, and that's why the advertising you'll see that we're asking for money for Runner's World. If you go to our website, I am a dinosaur, and I'll tell you that right up the front. The social networking, which I'm really excited to see some of the workshops here today, are going to hopefully educate me because I'm not savvy on that. But I do know that that's the way people buy business now, is not necessarily through the collateral material, but it's with social networking and it's through the internet. Our internet gets a huge bang for its buck as far as the hits that we get, and it's really interesting because, you know, they always tell us where they have gotten the information. A lot of it does come from magazines, and then they go. So you don't always, like with Cowboys and Indians, you don't always get the leads directly from Cowboys and Indians, but you get the leads because you have your website posted, and then they go directly to you. So sometimes tracking a magazine is a little more difficult, but you can certainly track your website. And so we're really excited about that. If you go to the next element, it's the fam trips. I am so excited. Go West and RMI are my favorite shows because I love the international market. This will be the first time that Go West, to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Karen, but this is the first time it's been in Idaho. Yes. And so we are asking for some money so that we can participate in that and make sure that Idaho, not just Pocatello, not just Boise, not just Coeur d'Alene, but the whole state is showcased at that event. And we want to do a fam trip for them, and that's going to be kind of one of our catches, you know, in order for us to be a sponsor for the $10,000 sponsorship we're asking for, or $5,000, excuse me, because we're sharing that with Region 5, but we also want to do a fam trip. We do not want to be left out this time. We want to go. Okay, I'm hurrying.